Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, August 13th, and we are looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trade the last 2.5 days. And I'll tell you what, if I had any hair on my head, I'd be pulling it out right now. This is utterly amazing what's transpired these last 4 or 5 days. How the what's been played before will be played again, right? Traders are going to do its work till it doesn't work anymore. And boy, oh boy, the failure by the bulls at each high, here, has just presented the opportunity to watch them all puke out and then watch shorts attempt to pile on and then only to see them fail, right? Today it was starting to turn into a carbon copy of Tuesday, H high today and then just flush. And look what they did in L&M, only to see that get taken back. Well, today they tried similar, but this time the buyer said, you're not going to blow out the day and really rip it lower. And they take it back. We were 9 for 9 wide on the POC and couldn't lower it. Sound familiar? That's what happened on Tuesday, and that was only 8 wide. Value does end up overlapping to lower, though. We started the day lower. We went unchanged. We went overlapping to higher, only to end up overlapping to lower. Look where the volume POC is, all the way up by the pocket a day. So for my money's worth, once again, all this was from I period on were absolute week longs puking up and shorts trying to do their thing. That's all it is. We're still very healthy in the monthly and weekly. The daily's in balance. The daily had an inside day, which is awesome. Because I'll be honest with you, for my money's worth, if we come out of it to the downside and take out today and yesterday's low, there's nothing to this 332 level. So maybe the bears will finally get their groove on if it comes out to the downside. On the flip side, if we take out this inside day to the upside and don't get the all-time high tomorrow, I will throw the towel in and say we're not getting the all-time high anytime soon if they fail tomorrow out of an inside day, if they do it. We had a good day in the room. Again, not a busy day. I didn't take many trades. The ones I took, though, worked out well. I was looking for an afternoon pullback low, so I had a decent short. However, I turned it into a long, which worked out because I stayed out of trouble in all of this. These algos get stretched a lot more than I'm giving them credit for. We took out the initial balance high, the initial balance low, and both overnight highs and lows. So very interesting. As far as my day, so we start in A period. We basically had an open reverse drive. We opened, went below it, filled the trend day from yesterday, and then just ripped higher. And we held that all morning until, obviously, we took it out. The only put play I took the one trade I took in A as a short was M's low. I thought we would maybe get a little speed bump before we get acceptance into M. And it did. It was quick, and it wasn't a lot, but I took the short and I made money on it. Once we got it into A and it looked like we wanted to trade the whole range, I took a long. Again, these were all yesterday's. It's all tomorrow's expiration. It was a 339 put. Then I got on board a 336 call and rode it up almost to M's high. Remember, we go over this constantly. M period is so much more important the next day. So once you got accepted, if you went long, look at this ride you had up. It was a very nice trade. B period. I took a long when we started one time framing up for a quick play, the 337 calls. E. Now, E flushed out. Remember yesterday I was looking for E to flush out, and it didn't happen? Well, this time it did, but they didn't get much for it. It came back in. I took a long at C's low, at the time value low, 337 calls back to POC. Very nice. Okay. I finally took a short at a high, right? I've missed so many opportunities in the last 3 days, shorting these and fading them, shorting it and fading it. I finally took one in H, and it worked out. And actually, it's funny because I did a reversal play, which I I rarely do. I shorted H's high. I actually took it off at POC. Now I'm looking for afternoon pullback low when it flushed. Now I should have held on to some, but I didn't. But then I got long in H and rode that back up to POC and I. Beautiful trade. So we got exactly what we were looking for. Shorted H, look for the pullback, got long, back to POC. Then the market did more than I thought it would do. Flushed out in I, flushed out in J. I took a long in J though, and long in J period, 337 calls, and it went back. Didn't get back to POC, but I did get out of it before it decided to really flush. And then took another one in J when we got again around the opening and yesterday's value low, and took that and made money before it got below the opening. Did it a couple of times there, actually. Actually, I think I did take one below the opening. But they all worked out. And then in M, twice I took call plays. Once, actually both times, above the opening and back to somewhere around K's high. Nothing big, nothing great, but they all worked out. All right. Destinations for tomorrow. Upside. We have 9 wide at 337.82. So just about $1 higher from where we close is our first upside destination before we get any more market generated information, right? Above that, we have today's high of 338.25, yesterday's high of 338.28, and then you should have all the other ones that I've given you. There's only 5 more above there to the all-time high. For the downside, we have today's low, 336.23. Then we have 335.43 and then 332.01 all the way down here. And then 331.13 daily low filling the gap at 330.06, a 107-point gap from August 5th. Let's go to the charts. Monthly. Nothing's changed. Incredibly healthy. One time framing up for 4 months. The gap is holding. Next destination is the all-time high. We keep saying it. Weekly. Nothing's changed. One time framing up 6 weeks. Same goal, the all-time high. We looked like maybe we'd test last week's high. Never did. Never even came close to it. That's the key to stay above and get the all-time high. And then a daily. Inside day. Again, for my money's worth, one of 2 things is going to happen, either tomorrow or I would think Monday the latest in case we have another inside day. We come out of it to the downside, we're probably going to attempt to go flush at least to the 332 level. Okay? Possibly fill the gap. Not tomorrow, but over the next couple of days. And that's all the bulls better hope happens. Because I think if we fill this gap and start getting down to this 2-day balance, then the all-time high could be in jeopardy of being seen in the near future. If, however, we take out today's high, I can't imagine we don't get the all-time high again tomorrow. But you've heard me say that now for 3 or 4 days. I'm trying not to be biased. It's almost hard not to, as we are so close to it. For goodness sakes, there's no sellers there. The buyers are fighting against themselves and not wanting to do it. There's no selling up there. So, and then quickly, let's look at the other 2 we've looked at. Triple Qs was interesting. Well, they came back, though, pretty good. Triple Qs got to within 15 cents of the all-time high before they backed off today. So, with 1 day to go in the week, is it possible the Triple Qs have an outside week up and close above the all-time high? Boy, would that be bullish. On the flip side, well, we can't have an outside week down because we have to take out the high first. So I don't think that would happen. So the big goal here, it's a 2-week balance. But if they're able to close above 274.98 tomorrow, that's an outside week up. That would be positive. And then the Russell, let me see the daily. Did we have? Yep, we did. So this is a boiling pot of water that's about to explode on the Russell. We have 2 inside days in a row. We come out of it to the downside, well, I'm going to say then we're going to be looking at the 153 level at least. If we come out of it to the upside, we should start going and testing the 160 level and continue the grind up. The weekly, I don't like the candle on it, so I'd like to see them take out the upside. It's not going to be easy to make a new high in a Russell. The first thing they have to do is get above this weekly high of 167 and change. It's $10 higher. But they're not going to even attempt to get that unless we get back to this week's high and on the daily come out of an inside day to the upside. Come out of it to the downside, you're going to the low 150s again. Plain and simple. All right. I hope you had a good day trading today. Come check us out, camelbacktrading.org. Remember, the webinar is this Saturday. It's certainly disappointing to have this many subscribers and followers on YouTube and Twitter, and the only one signing up for this webinar is my trading room. It would be nice to get some other people to see what we can do. Check us out in the webinar. If you like it, you sign up in the room. It's only $20 for the webinar and $20 a month for the room. But I think a lot of people are missing out on some very valuable information. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.